Y'all, welcome back to my channel. So as you can tell from the title, I am gonna be doing a chatty get ready with me. I've actually had a few requests to do this, and I filmed chatty get ready with me's like a lot actually, but I don't post them because I wouldn't say a lot. Just like whenever I feel like it, basically. But I don't post them because I always talk about like way too personal things. Because like I kind of like weirdly use them as like therapy, and just talking about like updating my life and stuff so that like future me can look back on it, and I just like post them, but like, you know, on private so that like the world can't see, but I can go back and look on them. And so I tried to film yesterday one that I was like comfortable, you know, posting online, and I discovered that like I don't know, it was very hard for me to like think of topics that were like appropriate to talk about with the world. And it's not that I feel weird about sharing things with the world, it's just that I know that's not like socially acceptable, and then I get anxious about it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, someone's gonna judge me for this or whatever, and I just like worry, I guess. And so then I like don't post it. But anyway, but on the ones that I know that I'm gonna keep private, I basically like get super juicy details in them because like I know I'm not gonna post them, so who cares. But yeah, so anyway, going back to that, I tried to film one that was appropriate, and I was not successful. I just like felt like I was like getting, there's a lot of like awkward moments of like I don't know what to say, and like, what do you call, just like negativity in general. And like honestly, it's so funny to me because I don't really consider myself a negative person, because I don't know, I'm just like, I like positive energy. I don't really like being around negative people. When someone's like, every conversation is negative with them, I just don't really want to listen to them. Obviously, like, life is rough, and like, there's a lot of negativity that goes on in the world and in life. But, I mean, I feel like, I just try on YouTube to be pretty positive, I guess, because like, I want to spread positivity and light, and I feel like a lot of people come to YouTube as like an escape from reality, and like wanting just something light and fun. And that's honestly like the whole reason I really got into makeup, was to aid with my anxiety and help to calm me. And I guess I started getting into it probably about 6 years ago, 5-6 years ago, I don't know. But whenever, I guess like I started a YouTube channel not too long after I started really getting into makeup, but I don't know. I'm just making my tallies for my years of usage, but let's see. I don't really know what eye look I'm gonna go with today. I brought out literally every single one of, like, obviously I don't do my makeup here on the daily. I do it on my vanity, but just for y'all, like, I have my little ring lights here and everything. And I brought out every single one of my palettes because I didn't want to feel restricted. Sorry, my nose is like kind of running. But anyway, don't worry, this is a clean towel, and I'm like just using it to wipe makeup on. But anyway, I didn't want to feel restricted. I don't really know what the vibe is for today. I kind of wanted to play with neutral, so I might use the Tati palette. But I have to be honest, although I like really love my years of usage project, it's been kind of stressing me out lately just because I feel like I forgot that I had an alarm set just in case I didn't wake up. It's actually like 10 o'clock in the morning, and it's Sunday, so like I could sleep in if I wanted, and I just like randomly woke up at 7 a.m. and couldn't go back to sleep. So I don't have anywhere to go. I'm just filming it. Actually, I do want to go to town, but I'll try to remember what I was talking about before, but I'm kind of snowed in because I moved, and I kind of live in a very like snowy place, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, I don't really know what I want to do with my look today. I want to try like a little bit of fun, but I want to be sort of neutral. And I want to get a lot of, anyway, oh, what I was talking about before is that I was kind of getting a little bit stressed out about my years of usage project because like I feel like I was putting pressure on myself, and I think like because like sorry, my dog's over there, she's so cute. Anyway, I was putting pressure on myself, and I feel like I set like super lofty goals with like how many palettes I put in the project, and like realistically I know that it's not even possible to hit all of my goals this year, and that's like known, but for some reason I just feel like I'm not making progress. I need to do more, and I didn't really feel this like last year, and it's so early in the year, it's only February, so there shouldn't be that much pressure, but for some reason I'm just like putting so much pressure on myself that it's ridiculous. And so that's kind of been a little bit hard, and I'm trying to think of ways to take that pressure away from me and like make it fun. Like I kind of switched my strategy on my years of usage to rolling out the palettes that I already have a lot of progress on, just so that I don't feel as overwhelmed. And I don't know if that will help the overwhelming feeling. But I think that if I have less palettes in the project, it'll just like possibly make me feel less overwhelmed. I don't really know. So yeah, for me, like I said earlier, like makeup is like something that should be used to calm me and like not make me anxious, and I'm just like I just have anxiety in general, so like it's hard. But yeah, I'm trying to like switch it up and use different palettes because why not? Let's see. But I also want to use ones that like I haven't hit gold on my years of usage, so it's kind of hard because like a lot of like the midtones browns I've already hit gold on. Besides like the Tati palette, I have like a bunch in there, but I don't know why. I just like I'm not really drawn to that palette at the moment. So anyway, I think I was saying that I wanted to go shopping at like Goodwill or whatever. But I'm kind of snowed in, but I'm really over it. Like I've been trapped here for 4 days, and this is my second day off. I only get 2 days off a week, obviously, like Saturday, Sunday. And so like I just really want to get out of the house. And I'm kind of like willing to risk gliding on the ice to do so, just because I'm kind of desperate. So love that for me. I need to highlight. I did hit a little spoiler. I did hit pan on not hit pan. I hit goal on butter, and I need to highlight that and take a picture of it for my Instagram. But yeah, that's like honestly like all the other mid-tone browns in the Jaclyn Hill palette have been used. I mean, there's Pukey, but that's very warm toned, and I just don't want that. So like imagine after all this, I'm gonna end up going back to the Tati palette. That would be funny. Okay, let's see what I have left. I'm kind of like screwing around, but y'all said you wanted chatty, so you're getting chatty. Anyway, I don't know if I really talked about this, but basically I did try to film one of these yesterday, and I was like very awkward and like didn't know what to talk about, so I figured once I ran out of topics, I have my computer here and I have a list of questions. That way if I run out of things to talk about, I'm not awkwardly sitting here, because I honestly could talk about my life, but I want to keep it light, and I feel like a lot of life is not so light, so yeah, trying to keep it posy vibes over here. I guess there are a few like positive things I could talk about. Oh gosh, I forgot my water in the other room. Okay, I'm gonna go get my water. I never like to like splice videos together, but since the alarm went off earlier and I'm gonna have to splice it anyway, it's not any more trouble for me to like go ahead and cut it, and you know what I mean, because I'm not like actually editing it. I'm just like I just go into iMovie and then I put the clips in order, and then it does it for me. And so when I was filming yesterday, I ran out of storage on my phone, and it just like stopped recording. So that was sad. Ooh, maybe I could use, you know what? I'm gonna use, because, okay, so this is a little off topic. Jessica Lee is panning the Sultry palette for her Pan That palette. And she was just saying that she was having a hard time, like, coming up with ideas of how to use slate in the palette, which is the matte gray. And I told her in the comments, I don't know if she'll see it, because, you know, she's got a lot of followers, whatever. But actually, she did comment on one of my videos, like, actually, she commented on my video from yesterday, so I felt good, because I felt like, I don't know why in my head I always think that, like, no one watches my videos, but they actually do, and it's kind of cool. That's why I really love when people comment, because it makes me feel like I'm not talking into the abyss. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, anyway, so basically, like, mixing slate with bloom, it makes, like, more of, like, a mauve-y, cool-toned pink, I guess, and it's super pretty, and that's what I'm doing right now, and I really like it. I don't know if you can really tell. It's just, like, smoky and pretty, and that gave me 2 tallies on years of usage, so that makes me happy. But, okay, so before that interruption happened with the, what do you call it? Oh, water. I was saying that I have some positive things to talk about. I talk about this stuff in my, like, other Get Ready With Me's that I, like, keep on private, but, I mean, obviously I don't share them with you, so one thing is, I know I always talk about in my videos, I'm like, oh, I'm going to grad school, but I'm not really specific about it, and since, like, I know this sounds, like, okay, I'm pretty sure, like, 4 or 5 possibly people over the last, like, I don't know, half a year have, like, asked me to do a chatty Get Ready With Me, and to me that's a lot, because, like, honestly, like, not that many people, like, comment on my videos, so, like, I don't know, it just makes me really happy when people comment. But anyway, so I feel like maybe they are interested. Anyway, so for grad school, I'm going to PA school. If you don't know what a PA is, it's a physician assistant. It's very similar to a doctor. Basically, they're able to do everything a doctor does, but they do so under the supervision of the doctor. So basically, they have a shorter schooling period, which is about 2.5 years, whereas med school is 4 years plus residency, and PAs don't have residency. And so getting into PA school is, like, extremely hard. It's actually harder than medical school to get into, statistically. And so anyway, I got in. So I applied to 4 schools, and most people applied to, like, 10 to 15 just because it's so hard to get into. But I wanted to, I just, like, I don't know, I wanted to take a chance, and I only applied to Flora because I felt like I had pretty good, like, statistics, like my test scores and my GPA and all that good stuff, and, like, I just felt like I'm a really good interviewer. I actually used to do competitive speaking in high school and junior high, and I did really well with it. I'm using Ritual from Tati. But anyway, so yeah, I did that, and I'm pretty confident in my interviews, so I thought I'd just take the risk and only apply to 4. So what ended up happening is I got into 2 schools, and I got waitlisted at 2 schools. I actually got waitlisted at my top choice of school, but I got into another program that's like its sister school, and it's an amazing program, and I'm really excited to go there. So I'm really happy because originally the first school I got into was a school, like, that was, like, probably my 4th choice, and it's still a good school. Like, any school that is a PA school is good, you know, but, like, I don't know, like, I just wasn't as excited to go there because it was a newer program, and I felt like they probably had some kinks that they still needed to work out. And anyway, so the school I'm going to is, like, extremely established, and they've been open since, like, the 1970s, which is very long for PA school, because PAs, the concept of PAs, I think it was developed in, like, the 1960s, so that they were pretty quick on the jump, and so that made me feel good. Anyway, and so I'm sure that they, like, have everything worked out really well, and I'm just excited to do that, and I know that it's going to be very tough, but honestly, like, after I'm done, I'll be able to live the life that I've always wanted. Like, I'll be making really good money, and obviously it's not about the money. Obviously I have like a lot of other motivations besides monetary for doing that job, but I just grew up really poor, and I felt like, honestly, being so poor has caused, I know this sounds horrible because, like, and I'm not saying like all poor people have this problem, but I feel like being so poor, like, during my life has really caused a lot of, like, mental problems, and, like, I mean, obviously, like, there's a lot of other factors that play, but, I feel like this specifically, the just feeling like I can't afford things, or, like, you know, anyway, I won't get too into it, but basically, like, I always felt like I couldn't buy, like, even very simple things that were cheap, and it just really affected my mental health and well-being. And anyway, so I have this, like, it's so weird because, like, I grew up so poor, but I went to a Catholic private school, and I know that sounds, like, contradictory, but my dad, he's Catholic, and his family's Catholic, and he was very passionate about sending me to a Catholic school, even though, like, it was really expensive. I mean, it wasn't, like, crazy expensive, but it was expensive for us, for sure. And, anyway, like, in doing so, basically all my friends, like, had money, and it was, like, hard because, like, I couldn't afford the things that they could afford, and just, like, growing up that way, and, like, always feeling like I don't fit in, and, like, feeling out of place. And there's so many other reasons that I felt like I didn't fit in, but, like, that's just one of them. So yeah, that's kind of the sitch on that. But I can't remember if I made a tally for Cancer. I don't think I have, but I'll go ahead and that was Cancer from BH Zodiac. I don't know if you care, because it's not like the odds of everyone having the same palettes I have are not high, and it's not like you're sitting there copying my look like I'm freaking Jacqueline Hill or something. But anyway, speaking of which, I want to copy her latest, because she did a makeup tutorial recently, and she hasn't done one in like a year. And I don't know what it is about her. I'm very inspired by her makeup. Like, I feel like she just knows what she's doing. And I know a lot of people, like, have issues with her, but to me, I'm not about that drama. Like, I feel like all this, like, this might be controversial to even say, but I feel like I just don't like I said, like, makeup is a space of, like, non-negativity for me. Like, I just don't want to, like, why are we bringing negativity into something that, or at least for my intention, was meant to relieve anxiety? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're not sitting here, like, everyone makes mistakes. I'm trying to think of, like, what the big mistake was that she made. I honestly don't even remember. I don't know. I really don't know. There's a lot of things that it could be that people have issues with her for, which is fine if you know, have issues with her. It's just, like, I personally just don't care. Like, I personally think that we should just, like, be a little bit less judgmental of people and just appreciate the positive things about them, I guess. And that's what I try to do in general. But yeah. Anyway, but she has a new tutorial, and I really want to follow it. But some of the products she uses in it, I don't have. All the eyeshadows I actually do have, because they're from her palette, her original, this one. And I love this palette, but honestly, like, all the shades she uses are shades that I've already hit goal in for years of usage, so it's, like, not helping me with that, but, I mean, I can still use them. It's just kind of, like, I'm not making progress. But, anyway, sorry, I'm, like, barely doing my makeup as I do this, but this is going to be a really long video. Anyway. So, I'm looking for, like, I kind of want, like, a gray. Ooh, I could use this new palette. This is my new Franken palette. I say it's new. It's actually, like, my oldest stuff, but I'm excited to use it. Okay, I'm going to use this. I haven't used this palette at all for my project, and I'm excited to play with it a little bit. Let's see. Grayish, purple gray, or deep silver, or let's see. I think I'm going to go with purple gray. I named these colors myself after I swatched them, so. And honestly, they're all like, a lot of them are very similar, but yeah, I feel like that's like a really pretty cool tone gray, and I really like it, but today I'm kind of going for a little more wow factor, so I'll probably put something on top of it for sure, because I mean, why not? Why not? We're just sitting here doing our makeup for no reason. Might as well layer 500 shades. Anyway, she has this like her setting palette. I kind of want it, but I looked and it's like 40 bucks online, so I might possibly get it. But the thing is, like, it's an under eye setting powder, and it's a pressed powder, and I prefer loose powders, but I'm almost willing to just try it. And so, like, if she ever has like a half off sale or something, I might get it, because that would make it like 20. And the pans, like, they look really small, so I feel like I'm still like, it's still a splurge, even though it would be $20. But like, I don't know, like, I just feel like I like to copy her looks, and I feel like it would just give me satisfaction, so it might be worth it. But now I want a really bright silver, so I'm gonna go in with Sultry Cyborg, if I haven't already used all my tallies on that. Oh, I already hit goal on Cyborg. But what should I use then? Let's see, what does this look need? I need something bright. See, I feel like I really love like bright shades. Let's see. What's this Major Mood? I kind of want to try this. This is from the Morphe. Oh gosh. This looks dark. Like, most of the other shades that are like this in the palette are very, what do you call it, sheer. But this one looked a little darker. But it's pretty. I mean, it's just kind of topping that that BH Zodiac shade from before and like reinforcing it. And I'm kind of gliding it over the gray to give it more of a purple tone. And I really like it. I probably should just stop here because it's actually really pretty. But I still want silver. So I might just go ahead and use the Cyborg anyway. What did I just use? I gotta mark my tally for that one. Anyway, I want to recreate her look, and I thought about doing it for this video, like recreating her look, but then I feel like it would just be in the background and be annoying for y'all, because it's a kind of a long video, and she like just goes off on random tangents and stuff, and so like it wouldn't be that fast. It would be slow, but oh well. I'll just do it like one day that maybe I'll do it one day that I do need to film. And honestly, like, I don't have any like projects I need to update or anything on YouTube, so yeah. I'm gonna go in with Sultry Cyborg now. And I usually use everything with my finger, but I kind of like am in the mood to use my brush. There's actually a pretty decent dip in this shade, and I don't want, this is a bad mirror. You know what? I never even peeled off the thing of this mirror, and I probably should, but I don't know why. It gives me satisfaction kind of that I still have it. Maybe I should peel it. Should I peel it? It's kind of stuck. Should I do it? I don't know if I should do it, because I don't know if it'll annoy me if the mirror gets dirty. Maybe I should just do it. Should I do it? We're gonna break this palette mirror virginity right now. You ready? Yeah, now it's very clear. But that'll get dirty in no time, but it's satisfying for now. So anyway, what was I talking about? I don't remember. I'm trying to think. Oh, usually I use my fingers, but I want to go in for a more detailed look with this. And this would be so much easier if I was doing this on my vanity. But that's not an option when filming, unfortunately. Like, it is an option, but I wouldn't be able to like be like as straight on with y'all as I am right now. And you wouldn't be able to like see what I'm doing as much, because we know that all of you are gonna want to copy my tutorial. Just kidding, no one is. Anyway, but yeah, what else? Oh, and you know how I was talking about like how I made that video yesterday? So I've been talking, so I just moved Oh, anyway, before that, I was talking about how I got into school, and I'm excited. And I am excited. I'm going to be moving again back home in like late April, early May. And then after that, I'll be moving again to my college town, which is about 3 hours away from my home. And so I'm really excited for that, because I feel like so much of the past 3 years has felt, maybe 2 years, maybe I'm being dramatic, since I graduated college. So yeah, I would say 2 years. The past 2 years has felt very or honestly 3, yeah, I would say 3 to 4, has felt very stagnant, because I'm always in the process of oh, I know I'm about to move again in 6 months. Oh, I'm about to move again in a year. Oh, I'm about to move again in this much time. And so I feel that I can't really develop really strong connections. Because I feel like, oh, no one's going to want to date me because I'm going to be leaving in a year. And then we wouldn't be able to get married. Or I'm not worth their time. Or like even in friendships. Especially here, because I'm only going to be here for 3 more months. Like, I feel like it's not even worth trying to make friends, because I'm going to be leaving in 3 months, and like no one wants to make friends with someone who's about to leave. So, and I say that to myself, but that's just like the negativity coming in my head, and I need to be more positive, because like maybe there's someone else in a similar situation that like recently got here, because I've been here about a month now, that recently got here, and they're just like desperate for friends, and they don't care that they're leaving in 3 months, and they just want someone to hang out with. So I should be more positive, but honestly, that's kind of like been a barrier because of COVID. Like, it's just not really smart to like do a ton of socializing right now, I guess. And if I were in a different career field, then I wouldn't really care. Like, if I was like a work at home type person, I wouldn't really care. I'd just go out. But I work with like the elderly, and so it's just not really the move to go have fun on the weekends, I guess, because like I don't want to risk getting COVID and spreading it to them or whatever. Yeah. So, but I have been like kind of dating this guy, because like he's the only person that I really hang out with. And he was so sweet. Like, yesterday he called me after I filmed that video, and I was like feeling a little discouraged, because I knew I was gonna post it, because like I was just weird in it. And anyway, he was so sweet, and I was just telling him, I was like, I don't know what to do, because like people are asking me to film this type of video, but I feel like I'm too negative, or I feel like I talk about things that are controversial, and I'm scared, and I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, or I don't want to whatever, you know, be some sort of like, I just want to keep everything positive and like whatever. And he was so sweet. He was like, and I was like, I can't think of topics to talk about that are not overly personal either. Like, because I could talk about my life. I have a very interesting life, in my opinion. But I don't know if it's like, I have a traumatic life. Like, at least the past of it was. And so, like, I don't know. That's probably not appropriate to talk about on the internet. I always, every time I do like this type of like cool Tony look, I just love it. I'm kind of obsessed. It's so pretty. Anyway, I was just like saying that kind of stuff, and like saying like, oh, like I just don't want people to think I'm like being too negative, or like that I'm oversharing, and you know, I don't ever want someone to like make a mean comment to me or whatever, because it would kind of kill my vibe. But anyway, so I was telling him these things, and I was like, I needed to like come up with a list of topics to talk about before I start. That way I don't like awkwardly pause and all this stuff. And he was so sweet, and he was like, you've never said anything like offensive or like over whatever to me, and what do you say? And then he was just like, I think I don't know, just like whatever. And then he was like, I'll help you come up with topics, and we'll make a list, and then that way you can film. And this is so cute, because like I told him like that I don't really have a following on here. I just kind of like do it for fun. And he was like acting like I was some like big YouTuber, and I told him like probably like 50 people max will watch this. And he was like, no, we're gonna come up, like I have a big whiteboard, we'll make a list of all these ideas. And he's like a very manly man. Like, he's in construction. He's like very, like, I don't know. I just thought it was so sweet. And it was the cutest thing ever. And yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was very cute. And so anyway, I'm probably going to still do that. But in the meantime, since I felt like filming today, I like Googled. First I was like Googling like lists of questions, and then it was all like weirdly like, it was like it like seemed like a teenager wrote it. It was like, cause like probably teenagers are the ones who look up list of questions, but like for like 20 questions or something like that. But and so it would get like oddly sexual or random or whatever. But I found a list that was not very sexual, and it was just like normal questions. And so I'll link in the description if I remember. Oh my gosh, I just like zoomed in, but I like really big zoomed in. I'll link in the description the list of questions. It's from signupgenius.com. Getting to know you questions. And so I felt like since so many people, aka 5 people max, asked for a chatty get to know you whatever, I can go off those questions. And also, like, these type of videos, like, obviously this is going on forever and not a lot of people want to watch these long videos, but honestly, like, I like watching these types of videos before bed, and it just like it's fun to like fall asleep to. So yeah, I'm just hoping other people do that. It's not like people are sitting there like only concentrating on me because they have, like, no one wants to sit here and watch me for an hour exclusively. I mean, they might. That would be cool, but I mean, not that I don't know. Anyway, I mean, I do that sometimes. Sometimes I'm just like bored and I have nothing to do, and so I'm like, I'll just listen to someone talk for an hour about things that don't affect my life. But yeah, I know that a lot of you have interesting things to do, so you can maybe just have this on in the background or something. And I know my eyes took like 40 minutes, but that's okay. I don't really care. I'm just chatting, and it's fun. Okay, here's a close-up of the eye look. Oh, I feel like this needs to be a little more blended, but in this it looks like fine. But when I raised my eyebrow like that, it made it look like it was unblended. So I'm gonna wipe my brush and try to raise my eyebrow and blend that a little bit better. Does that look better? It does. This needs a little bit of help. Part of the reason might be that I haven't cleaned my brushes in a while, but we won't talk about that. So, anyway, so I thought these were kind of light questions, and they're not necessarily light, but they're much lighter than real life, so it would be cute. Anyway, I'm trying to think of if I had anything else I want to talk about, like, just off the top of my brain before I start into these questions. And I'm sure I'll go on, like, random tangents, and these will spur random tangents. But I was talking with him, and, like, there's never, like, awkward silence, and I was telling him, like, when I was complaining about how I felt so awkward. And I think, like, if I'm, like, having a normal conversation with someone, it doesn't get, like, as stale because, like, there's, like, some sort of feedback and, like, some sort of interaction. I can bounce off their ideas or whatever. But now, like, in filming, you're just kind of, like, by yourself, and you're talking to nothing. Even though I'm talking to you guys, I'm, like, you know, currently just sitting here staring at my phone. So, I'm really happy with this eye look. It looks very similar to, like, my favorite look I did last year. And it's because I'm obsessed with cooldowns. But anyway, I'll start with the first question because I didn't want to cheat, but I have a lame answer to this question. And I have not really looked over, I just kind of looked at the first question because, you know, it's natural. But the first question is, who is your hero? And I feel like that's a lame question. Like, I don't know. A lot of people might have, like, amazing answers to this. I don't necessarily think I have a hero. I mean, maybe Jesus. But, yeah, that's, like, the most basic answer. I don't know. Honestly, I feel like Jesus should be my hero for sure, but I I just, like I said, I've had a lot of trauma. Like, I feel like there's like some famous person that I should be like, oh, well, they're my hero because they did this and whatever. But honestly, like, I just don't really like idolize people that way because I know that everyone like makes mistakes, and I feel like obviously like idolizing someone's a sin, but like even on a lesser note, like really admiring someone, but just to like consider them your hero, I feel like that's like a big statement. And I don't really feel like that about anyone. There are definitely people that I admire a lot, but I don't know if there's anyone that I would say is my hero. I'm trying to think of like, oh, these are people that I want to be more like. I mean, like, obviously, like, I could be like, oh, I want to be more like Saint whoever, or whatever. But honestly, like, I don't know them. Like, who knows? Like, they could have been doing their thing in the background. And, like, no one's perfect. So that's the thing. But, like, I don't really feel any, like, strong connection with anyone that I feel like they're my heroes. So I'm just going to skip to that question because I probably should have just skipped it in general. But I just felt like saying my opinion on that because I feel like everyone kind of is like, oh, my mom is my hero, my dad is my hero, whatever, my grandma. But like, honestly, my mom was like a really amazing person, and I really do admire her for a lot of things, but she's human, you know, she makes mistakes. I don't feel that she's my hero by any means, and I don't mean that to sound negative. I'm trying to find my foundation palette. Where is it? Where is my foundation palette? Maybe I need to go to get a fresh one. I feel bad. I keep leaving. Fresh foundation palette, and these are just like little paint things that I got from like Michael's or something. No, it was from Hobby Lobby. And I like to use them because before I would like put my foundation on the back of my hand, but it would like stain my hand weirdly, and so like these are just convenient to like mix because I always like pretty much always mix my foundations, and also like I don't know. It feels. I wash these with a rag and then put them in the dishwasher, and it keeps it like sanitary. Anyway, but yeah. Anyway, I was just saying that my mom was a really cool person, but she had her flaws, as everyone does. So I don't want to put the pressure of her being a hero on it. Moving on. If you could live anywhere, where would it be? I mean, if we're talking realistically, I've always wanted to live in Florida, because I love, the heat. I just really like the heat, and, I like the sunny vibes of it, which I've only been to Florida once, so it's kind of ironic that I'm saying that, but I don't know, like, I just have high hopes for it, I guess. I don't know. And also, I should probably put on some sort of primer. I might as well. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? So I rolled into my roulette project. It was supposed to be the finale, but my Dumbo thing basically thought that it was ending in February, so I rolled like 4 more products in, and these are 2 of the products that I rolled in. And this one's a primer, obby. And then this one's a foundation sample, but I'm going to mix it in with a super light one and see if I can like make it work. And then also I'm going to use this as like a cream, like contour bronzer situation today. Anyway, so I'm going to start with the primer. Oh, she's silicone-y. So, what was I talking about before that? Oh, where do I want to live? Okay, in Florida, I just have like, I feel like this is not somewhere I want to live forever, but I want to experience living there because I feel like it's realistic. Like, you know, it's in the United States, which is where I live, and this feels really nice on my face, not gonna lie. It's the Estee Lauder, the Smoother. It feels really nice. It's very luxurious. And I usually always use like drugstore, and I'm sure they have stuff like this at the drugstore too, but like, I'm not gonna lie, it feels very nice and luxurious and like hydrating. I feel like my foundation might slip on it or something, but I don't really care because it feels so nice. Anyway, but yeah, I just feel like it's good vibes, sunny vibes, and I've never lived by the beach. I've always like lived kind of in more of a mountainous area or a wooded area, and I'm not really a big fan of like the salt water, but I think I could become used to it. I don't know. I just want to live there for like at least a year. But if I could live like anywhere, the thing is, I haven't really traveled that much like out of the country besides Mexico, and I love Mexico, but I mean, I was in like a resort, so it doesn't really count. But what else was I saying? Anyway, I mean, like, obviously, like, I want to visit Europe, I want to visit Australia, but I couldn't, like, confidently say I wanted to live somewhere that I've never visited. So, yeah. I'll just stick with the realistic one for now because, you know, I'm a realist. What is your biggest fear? Number 3. I guess, like, I kind of associate fear with anxiety. And because I'm a very anxious person, as you probably know. And I guess my biggest fear would be, like, for everyone, like, I feel like, I don't know. I guess this is another personal thing that I probably shouldn't say, but it relates to this question and my answer, and I want to be honest because I'm just brutally honest for some reason. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I just mixed like a dot of that dark foundation and it made this very dark, and this was like my lightest foundation. So now, I don't know if that was a good idea. Should I dot it? Oh, actually, I don't think it looks that bad. Let me look in the mirror. I feel like I can make this work. She's definitely too dark. I'll add another squirt of the light. But I only added like 1 finger dot of the dark, but it's still dark because I'm pale. But actually this shade looks fine. It's not that dark. I mean, I can make it work. Okay, what was I saying? What was the question? Oh, what's your biggest fear? So basically, my dad was really abusive growing up, and he would always just like say like, no one likes you, you don't have any friends, like you're gonna be a terrible doctor, because like my whole life I wanted to be a doctor, which I'm gonna be basically. And all this stuff, and he would just say all this shit. And basically, like, my fear is, like, people actually think those things about me. And it's something that I definitely worry about all the time. And I know it's, like, probably not true. But it's just, like, his voice getting into my head and, like, telling me those things that I'm just, like, so scared of, like, people actually thinking that. And people actually thinking, like, why are you here? Like, no one wants you to here, or like, you're whatever, just like negative things. Like, I'm always scared like of people thinking negatively about me, and it's just because like I really like people to like me, I guess. And it's kind of crazy because like I should be able to like be okay with even if people don't like me, but it's just like I always like had this desire to like, obviously like I don't want that to be true, and I don't think it is, but I don't know, that's like a really big fear of mine. Like, imagine like if I'm like in here telling myself like, oh, don't worry, that's just a negative thought, that's not true, when it is true, you know? Like, imagine if that was true. Imagine if people didn't like me and they were just like dealing with me because they felt obligated or whatever. I don't know. So yeah, that's a really big fear of mine, that people just don't like me in general. And so that's why I'm like so careful to, sorry, my nose is like running again, to be nice to people. And like, I mean, like, I'm nice in general, but like, that's why I'm like really careful with like what I post, because I don't want to like, I just don't want people to not like me. But obviously like there's gonna be a lot of times in life where people don't like you and you just have to deal with it. But I think that color actually worked out well. I did 2 pumps of the pale shade and then 1 finger dot of the dark. And anyway, so I'll just move on from that. Okay, what is your favorite family vacation? I would say going to Mexico with my mom. We went to a resort in Mexico, and like to this day I still want to go back. And before I start PA school, I really want to go to Mexico, just to like let off a little steam and have fun before I start a very brutal master's program. So yeah, that's kind of what I want to do. Basically, like, we just had a lot of fun. It was like all inclusive, so we got like all the food and drinks we wanted. There was no worries, and my favorite animal is a dolphin, and I got to swim with the dolphins, and I saved up so much money. I think it was like $400, but I was probably like 9 or something at the time, and like, obviously like a 9-year-old doesn't come around $400 easily, and so I saved up my money for like over a year so that I could swim with the dolphins, and I did. And it was a magical experience, and I love dolphins. Honestly, on a side note tangent, and it wasn't only because of the dolphins I liked that trip. Obviously, like, spending time with my mom and everything was really cool, but the dolphins were a highlight. Anyway, I also got to try escargot for the first time on that trip. It was really cool. I feel like that looks good. What was I saying? Oh, I don't know if y'all are like aware, or like, I feel like everyone's like social media is kind of like filtered differently, like depending on their interests, but for me, I've had a lot of like, what do you call it, stuff pop up in my feed lately of like Twitter and other stuff with a lot of dolphin slander, and like saying that dolphins are like mean and aggressive, and yeah, they are aggressive, but they're just like basically saying that dolphins are kind of bullies, and I don't really like dolphin slander. I mean, I feel like dolphins in the sea are the most human, like one of the most human-like creatures of the sea. And I always thought of them as more of like puppies. But anyway, they have like human, I guess, like pleasures and possibly emotion. And so, but they can be kind of crazy as well. Like, obviously, like, I feel like most people know that they can like kill sharks, and like they're very strong, and they like herd up and like gang up, but apparently there's a lot of like talk that they're like, oh my gosh, they're raping people, or they're whatever. And I mean, maybe that's true, but I feel like all this has like kind of like started becoming a big topic recently, and it I feel like my forehead's very red. We just look really sunburned, but it's fine. It's pretty still. We're very blushed. Anyway. Oh, another thing I wanted to do. I don't remember if I wet my bronzer brush. Oh, did I wet this? Yeah, it feels kind of wet. Okay. So I want to attempt to put dots of this as cream bronzer / contour, but I don't know how it's gonna work. I'm gonna be very sparing and see how this works. Okay, we'll start with that, and we'll try. We'll see what happens. And I feel like this could be wetter. Should I go wet it? I don't know. I feel like I need to wet this. Okay, I wet it. Let's see how it... Okay, I wet it. Let's see how it blends out. I think the combination of the water helps. But maybe I should just like spread it a bit before it starts drying, because it's very dark and it can mess up the whole look. Let's see. So I'm just kind of getting a little bit spread out before I start blending. Anyway, so yeah, all the dolphin slander is kind of making, and I really wanted a dolphin tattoo, because like dolphins have been my favorite animal forever, and like that story I have with my mom, and like the connection. This is not looking good. Oh my gosh, what do I do? I might just put other cream bronzer on top of it to help it blend. I don't know. I mean, it has a little potential, but not doing so hot. I don't know. Like, obviously this is very far from my skin tone, so just blending the crap out of it. Anyway, I wanted a dolphin tattoo for a long time, and now it's kind of making me question, like, do I want a dolphin tattoo if everyone's talking crap on them? I don't know. So I'm kind of putting a hold on that desire. I'll move on to the next one. Oh wait, vacation, yeah, anyway, it was really fun. I have a scrapbook of it, it was really cute. And some good memes with my mom. So, what would you like to change about yourself if you could? Well, I definitely wish I didn't have crippling anxiety. That's that's probably a big one. I mean, I feel like it's like super expected for. I feel like it's kind of blended out now. Like, I don't feel like I need to like go try to save it. I mean, this right here could use a little work, but it's not that bad. Okay. Anyway, yeah, I just wish I was like a less anxious person. I didn't worry so much. I guess I worry about everything constantly, and like I try to present myself as very like positive, and in reality, like I have a lot of negative thoughts swirling in my head, and I wish that like the inside of my head was more positive, I guess, and like less anxious. But there's drugs for that. We love that, but I don't know. I don't know. I'll just move on. Okay, what makes you really angry? What really makes you angry? I feel that, I'm trying to think. I don't like people like being overly critical of others. Like, that makes me angry. I just don't like, I think that's like unnecessary, and like, to me, like, there's so much negativity in the world already. Like, why are you adding negativity? Like, why is that your thought process to like critique someone? Like, I just like very against critiques in general. And I struggle with that. I'm trying to get better at it, but people have like done a lot of, I don't know how to describe it. I won't get into what I was about to, but basically, I think that it's annoying when people are like so judgmental and critical of others when they don't really know what they're going through, or they don't, like, it has nothing to do with them. Like, I get it, like, not everyone's gonna like everyone, and also I'm the same way. Like, there's a few people in this world that I just like don't enjoy having them in my life. So what do? I take them out of my life. You know, it's that simple. You don't need to bring someone, like, it's like you're leaving, the door's closed, like, why do you need to like go and be mean to someone, even if you don't like them? Like, what's the point? Like, what are you accomplishing if you don't want them in your life? I mean, I get, like, maybe you have this like savior complex of like, I'm not speaking to you, just like in general, of like, oh, like, they need to know that they have this problem. But it's like, if we're being real, they probably already know. Like, and like, I used to be like, have that same mentality of like, oh, like, this person is so mean, I need to let them know that they need to be nicer. And yeah, I have the same feelings, and it's very like, what do you call it? Very normal to have the urges to do that. But I'm just speaking like in other terms, like not necessarily about like character, but like if people are just like, oh, like if like say a guy doesn't like a girl, or vice versa, and the person is like, why don't you like me? And you're like, oh, it's because you're fat. Like, did you really need to say that? No. The person probably knows that they're fat if they're fat. Like, they don't need to hear it from you. They already like think about that. Keeps them up at night. Like, they don't need to hear it, you know? Like, what's the point? Why are we bringing someone down? Why not just say, I'm not interested, you know, thank you, but no thank you, if they ask. If not, just exit, stage right. Anyway, that makes me mad, and you can tell I'm getting a little heated. Anyway, what else? Okay, next question. What is your favorite, what motivates you to work hard? That's a good question. I think what motivates me is that I feel that my life has always been not so great. I mean, it's obviously gotten like significantly better in the past, I don't know, what do you call it, 5 years? However, the life that I want, I can see it, and my motivation is like that I know that there are things I need to do to get the life I want, and the life I want requires money. So I need to do what I have to do to get that money, and I want to come about it in a like reputable way, because there are a lot of ways to get money, as you probably know. But like, I just want to do it and do it in a way that I'm proud of, and not do it in a way that I'm like, oh, this like could be lost at any moment, or feel like I like brought someone else down for that, or feel that like I'm not proud of doing this or whatever. So I just want to come across money in a way that I'm proud of in order to live the life that I want. So that's what motivates me, because I want to be able to buy what I want and not have an anxiety tag every time I want to buy one of the, like, something that I related to is like, you know, when you're like Target or Walmart and they have those little like $3 gifts at the like front of the store, like right before you get to the register. I used to always like have this crippling, like, I can't afford this, like I can't even afford to eat, like why am I, like, I want this, but I, and then my friend, I would like go to the store with my friend, and my friend would be like, oh, this is cute, I want this, I'm gonna get this, I'm blah, blah, blah. And they pick up like 3 things, and I'm like, holy shit, like people actually do this, like people do this. But yeah, I've come a lot further mentally than that now, and I've accepted that I can buy some of those things. But I think like on a larger scale, like once I'm an adult, like, well, I am an adult, but once I like finish my career education, I just like am very excited to not even have to have that anxiety over money anymore. And my largest anxieties have always been money, school, and just worrying if people like me. So that's pretty much it. And I feel like it's always been that. So if I can knock out 2 of those 3 with being done with school and having money, now I'm only left with 1 anxiety, and I can maybe work through that. But I no longer have 3 major anxieties. I only have 1 major anxiety. So that motivates me. Like, let's knock off a couple of these things, and then I'll be happier. I am happy sometimes. Like, you know, it's so funny because like sometimes I run around and I'm having such a fun time, and I'm like, ooh, I love life, and I'm like jumping up and down. But other times I'm like, why am I here? Why wasn't I aborted? You know, just negative thoughts. So we'll move on. Let's see. See, this is my problem. Like I'm like a big oversharer, and I just need to zip it. But I have a problem. I don't know what it is with me, but I just have no filter, and I just like say things that I should probably not say. And that's a problem. Anyway, let's see. This is kind of a negative question, and we're trying to be positive, but I guess I'll answer it anyway. Oh, wait, no, the next question is not negative. It's, what's your favorite thing about your career? And I think my favorite thing about, I guess my current career, I'm a home health aide, so like, I guess I like that I can make someone else like feel cared for and safe, and feel like, I don't know, like they have less to worry about. I think that's really nice. And just like knowing that I'm making a difference in their life and like making it easier is nice, because like, don't we all want someone that makes their life easier? Yes. And then about my future job, which will be a PA, the favorite thing about my career. I can't really say because I haven't done it yet, but I think that I will really, like, I've always wanted to be a doctor my whole life. So a PA is like I said, very similar, like honestly the same thing, except for the only difference is PAs can't own their own practice by themselves, pretty much. Anyway, so yeah, I think that I'll really like the social aspect of it, because I'm very social. I love talking to people, and I feed off of others' energy. So like, it'll be super fun to be able to talk to people all day. I think I like that. And just like get to see such a wide variety, and get to like, I don't know, I'm really into organization as well. And so I feel like it'll be fun. And also, like, my mom was an audiologist, and if you haven't figured out, she kind of died when I was young, but it was like really inspiring. Like she wore her white coat, and I just felt like it was so like professional, and like I really looked up to that. And I feel like it'll be really fun to like get that white coat and like just like feel like I'm living out that fantasy from when I was little. So that's really gonna be fun. What's the biggest complaint about your job? So this job right here, the job itself, I would say like my client currently that I work for has really bad anxiety herself, and I feel like that's not the problem. The problem is I feel that I don't know if I probably shouldn't be talking about this, but it's not like you know anything about this person, so it's not like it's like HIPAA whatever, but I don't know. I just feel like a lot of times she like really exaggerates stuff or like blows things way out of proportion that don't need to be. And obviously, like, I'm a professional, I have to like handle it, you know, in a professional way. But honestly, it's just really annoying because like she'll just make stuff up and be like, I'm nauseous, my leg hurts, and it's like she's just making that up in her head. And I mean, sure, it could be possible that she has those issues, but I'm pretty sure she's making it up a lot of the time. And I'm like, I treat it as though she's not making it up. I'll make that clear. However, I'm pretty sure she's making it up a lot of the time. And it's just annoying because it's like, why are we creating extra trauma for you that doesn't exist? Like, why don't we just have a happy day and like have some fun and not pretend to be hurt when we're not hurt? Yeah, that would be nice. Anyway, moving on. Let's see. What is your proudest accomplishment? It's hard to say. I mean, there's a lot of things that I've done that I'm proud of. I could just like say an easy answer and be like, oh, getting into PA school. But I think like the more significant accomplishment, I guess, was like getting out of the toxic situation I was in with my family as a child. I think that's like obviously like was the first step to me getting on a better path. And so that's probably my proudest moment of, I mean, it's not like I'm like yelling it from the rooftops, like I escaped, but also like I am proud that I was able to survive up until that point to where I could get out. And so that's lovely, and I'm proud of that, and I'm proud that I have been steadily improving since getting out. So, next, what's your favorite book to read? I actually do not like reading. I used to like reading when I was in elementary school, but because I've always been a very like big overachiever in school, I had to read so much for school that it became unenjoyable. And even if it's like a fun book, I just don't want to read. Like the last thing I want to do is read. And it's so funny because like everyone, like I called my brother yesterday and I actually told him for the first time that I'm living in a whole new state. And I was telling him that it's a little bit like isolating because there's a lot of snow here and like I can't get out of the house, and also because of COVID, like I can't go socialize, and all the stuff. And he was like, oh, just like get you a good book. I'm like, sir, I do not read. I don't enjoy reading. And then also my therapist, I told her like so many times that I don't enjoy reading, but literally like her advice, all like I don't know if she listens to me, honestly, like whatever, like I haven't seen her in forever, but I don't know if she even listens because I've told her so many times like reading is not really something that I will do. Like you could tell me to read, but I'm not gonna really want to read anyway. And then every time she's like, oh my gosh, I'll be talking about whatever, and then she'll be like, you should read this book, and I'm like, I told you I don't like reading. I don't like reading, like whatever. Like she's like, okay, get it on an audiobook. I'm like, that doesn't even sound fun either. Like I'd rather watch makeup videos. So maybe I need to be more open and buy it on an audiobook or something, but like that's another thing. I don't want to spend money on stuff like that I'm not really excited about. So anyway, that's a problem. What else? Let's see. I need bronzer. Oh, by the way, I like frankincense moon bronzers yesterday. It was pretty fun. Okay. So, favorite book to read? I guess I would have to say, if I had to pick, I think like fun little, like books, the type of book that has like a couple sentences per page, because it feels less stressful. And maybe like it's just like a fun little joke, like a little joke book. I feel like I'd like that. Or I really like picture books. I feel like I like probably sound stupid saying this stuff, but I don't really care. Obviously, you know, I'm smart if I got into PS. Anyway, like a little what do you call it? Like a book of art would be cool, or like a book of, you know, makeup, or just something fun, something artistic, something nice. Okay, let's see. What makes you laugh the most? Alcohol. No, I'm just kidding. I don't really know. I feel like I used to like laugh so hard that I would like pee my pants, like legit pee my pants. And I haven't done that in forever. But I just like really like funny people. I really like dry sense of humor, like wittiness, sarcasm. The last time I can remember that I did that laughing is whenever I like did something really embarrassing, and that's when I laughed a lot. But because there was like literally no other possible reaction to what I did besides laughing, because it was like so embarrassing, and that's definitely something I'm not gonna put on the internet. But yeah, so I would say that. But I will say alcohol helps. Like I feel like it makes me laugh more, so I'll say that. Don't worry, I don't have a problem. What was the last movie you went to? What did you think? In the theaters, honestly, I don't even remember. It's been a while. But I can tell you that I am excited. I'm going to go see Batman when it comes out. And I kind of have to pee now. I might go do that. But anyway, I'm very excited to see Batman. And the last movie I watched, it was at home. It was Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. And I have not finished it. Because, okay, hold on. I got to go pee. I'm back. I was just saying that I wasn't really in the mood to watch a movie necessarily, but I just kind of like, I was eating and I didn't want to eat in silence, so I just put it on. But I haven't finished it. I'll finish it eventually. I recently got HBO Max because I wanted to watch Euphoria. And so I was like trying to like get the most of my money and like find a movie on there that I wanted to watch. And I hadn't seen that. And I like the Suicide, I mean, it's not like I want to go rewatch the Suicide Squad movies, but I mean, it's fine to watch once, you know? And so I figured I should watch it. So I started it, but I haven't finished it. Anyway, what did you want to be when you were small? I think we've covered that a few times. I want to be a doctor. I wanted to be a doctor. What does your child want to be when he or she grows up? I do not have a child. Honestly, on this topic, I don't know if I want children. I used to want 2 children, but I don't know, like part of me, like I can visualize my life going in separate directions. Like I can see myself being, I mean, I know I'll be a great mom if I ever am a mom. But that being said, I feel that there's been a lot of life that I still want to live, and I'm 24 right now, so I'm still pretty young. I have plenty of time. But that being said, I want to travel. I want to like be able to like be selfish, I guess, in a way, with my time and my money, just because I feel like a lot of my life I haven't had that. I know this looks kind of crazy right now. I'll brush it out. But I'm just like want to be able to like be selfish, I guess, and not do that. But in saying that, I can see myself later in life, like not in my 30s, or like late 20s, like most people have their kids, you know. I can see myself, and I'm pretty sure I want to do this, like after I like live out all my fantasies of like living life, living large. I want to foster some kitties, some little kids, because at one point I was in this system, I guess, and I kind of saw how that worked, and I would like to give those kids like an enjoyable experience of living at some point in their lives, because I would have appreciated that. And I think I would be really great at that as well. And I would make them feel very welcome and very safe and give them a fun time. Okay, I feel like in this camera, in the, what do you call it? In the, like in the phone camera, the one that you see, these brows look hella strong. But like in person, in this, in my mirror, I don't look that crazy. But I think it's also because like this eyebrow is lacking in the front, so I'll add some strokes. Cause like the other eyebrow has a lot more going on. Is that better? I know it looks like I have a very strong brow right now, but once I like put my hair down and stuff, it won't look as strong. It looks like I have kind of blocky brows, does it? I can't tell. I don't know. You tell me. Does it look bad? I mean, once I put my hair down, it'll look better. I don't know. I'll try to brush some of it out. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, I want to foster kids, and that can be, that's the beauty of not having your own children. You can do it. There's no biological clock. Like I could wait until I'm like 50 or 60 to do that and live it up and fulfill my fantasy of being a mom without actually birthing a child. So that's kind of vibes for now. But what do they want to be when they grow up? I don't know. I'll support a wide variety of options, but mostly just support them in general. Okay. If you could choose to do anything for a day, what would it be? Well, I really want to go to Mexico and lay on the beach and eat food and drink and have friends there and take pictures, and that sounds like a really fun day. And what else? I mean, I think like just like sightseeing, playing with animals on that day, that would be amazing. Like that's what I really want to do. And I know that sounds like, see, the thing is, I feel like that's a realistic fantasy because it's something that I could actually attain, and I actually want to do that before I go to PA school, if at all possible. Because I'll have a month off, but I probably need to plan that trip now. But anyway, but the thing is, I wouldn't have anyone to go with because my friend back home, her time off or whatever for work doesn't reset until June, and she already used up all her days. And I would have to go in May because my school starts in June. So, I don't know. It might not happen. But I would love it to happen because that sounds amazing. Okay. What's your favorite game or sport to watch and play? I always wanted to be a cheerleader, and I'm like, still a little salty I didn't, but I feel like it's really fun to watch like gymnastics and the Olympics and stuff. That's really fun to watch, and it's also really fun to watch swimming. I was a lifeguard for like 5 years, and I got to watch like swim meets and stuff. That's really fun to watch. As far as to play, I'm not very athletic, so I don't really know. A sport to play. I would say dance. Dance is super fun. I'm really into, I don't know if that's really a sport, but yeah, I guess so if you connect it to like cheer or whatever. But I mostly do like country dancing, but yeah. I don't know if I should. I guess I'm gonna do it. Oh, you know what? I have this powder in my Let's Get Loose project that I need to use. It's Bare Minerals Illuminating, and it's very glittery, but I think I'm only going to Goodwill, so who cares if I look like a glitter bomb. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, so that's about it for that. I guess there's only, oh gosh, there's a lot of questions, but I'm not going to answer them. Don't worry, I'll just stop whenever I finish my makeup. Blah, 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 blah. Would you rather ride a bike, ride a horse, or drive a car? I cannot ride a bike in general, so that's out of the question. Horse riding is really fun. I've done it a few times. But I will say it makes you sore after a while. But okay, it depends. Like, are we talking long term? Like, long term, obviously I want a car. But if it's just like for a day, obviously like I want to ride a horse because it's fun. But I wouldn't want to do it for more than like a day at a time because like it makes you sore and it's not very practical and you can't get very far. But I think a horseback day would be super fun. So that's my answer. What would you sing at karaoke night? My go-to song is Only by Nicki Minaj. Okay, what 2 radio stations do you listen to in the car the most? I don't know about stations because, I mean, everyone has different stations, but I say I mostly listen to like if this was an option, I really like their R&B, like rap stations, like I really like those stations. And then I also, I probably listen to also a reasonable amount of country, but I feel like the country they play on the radio is very overplayed. So I would say in the car, probably the R&B and like pop. That's probably the genres. Because like I like country music a lot, but I feel like on the radio they just replay the same songs over and over and it's kind of annoying. Okay. What would you rather do? Wash dishes, mow the lawn, clean the bathroom, or vacuum the house? I think that's, okay, it depends. It depends. I would say most likely wash dishes because I don't mind washing dishes. I really don't. As long as they go in the dishwasher. If there are dishes that have to be hand washed and cannot go in the dishwasher, I want no part of it. Like, in my future house, I'm only going to have dishes that are dishwasher safe. Like, there will be no. I mean, unless it's like crystal or something and they're used like once a year. That might be a possibility, but other than that, not happening. Like, I'm not, because I'm really big on sanitization. Like, I have a weird thing with germs, I guess, but I do have a microbiology degree, so I know a lot about bacteria, and I would want everything to go in the dishwasher and get sanitized. And so I would pick dishes. But if it was dishes that you had to hand wash, I would switch it to vacuuming, because vacuuming is not that bad. But I will say I will never sweep. I think when I'm gonna be able to afford to hire someone to do some of those types of things when I think I'm gonna use one of these when I am a PA. So I think the move is I'm gonna be like doing all the laundry and dishes because I don't mind doing that, and I don't even mind vacuuming, but I refuse to sweep, I refuse to mop. So I will, and I really hate dusting as well. So I'll hire someone to do those things. Or I'll force, if I have kids, I'll force my children to do it. Or if my husband likes cleaning, I'll make him do it. If I even get married. But odds are, I might not. Just because reasons. Okay. If you could hire someone to help you, could it be with cleaning, cooking, or yard work? I mean, we just talked about that. I would love help with all of those things. But if I had to choose one, I would choose cleaning. Well, but it depends how often. Like how often do we get this assistance? Thing is, I never do yard work in general because like so far, I've always either been at a place like that I rent or whatever, and like I don't think I would mind. I mean, if it was like a riding mower, it wouldn't be bad at all, but like I don't know. Like I don't think I would mind yard work that much, so that's kind of like a no. With as far as cooking, I feel like I've always had this fantasy of like having someone, like hiring a private chef sometime, and I feel like that would be really fun. Okay, I'm going in with this deep blue shade from my Franken palette to go under my eyes. Okay. And anyway, So that's the vibe for that. So I would if I had to choose between those three, I would say cleaning, because like I said, I will not mop, sweep, and I really don't like dusting. So yeah. If you could only eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be? That would be miserable because I don't like eating the same thing over and over. But it depends how much, like, I would say tacos, because, like, soft tacos, because I feel like you can do that a very wide variety of ways. Like, you can put anything in taco shell, and then you can top it with a lot of different things and, like, really change things up and like, have a wide variety of different flavors in a taco. So that's what I would pick. Who's your favorite author? Well, we all know I don't like reading, so I don't have one. But if I had to choose, when I was young, oh shoot, I already used this color, but oh well. When I was young, I really loved Nancy Drew books, so shout out to whoever wrote those. I don't remember. And then, let's see, what else did I really like reading? I don't know. I'll just go with that for now, because I had a lot of enjoyment out of that when I was a child. Have you ever had a nickname? What is it? Yes, my last name is Spradlin, if you didn't know. And so in college, my friends called me Sprad, because, like, I was in a sorority for a couple of years, and there was like 5 different Sarahs, and so everyone just called me Sprad, and I thought it was cool. I thought it was, like, it made me feel good, because it made me feel like part of the group, I guess. I don't know. But no one really calls me that anymore. And I also don't like it when guys call me that, because, like, it's like a kind of a homey thing. I feel like it's like an automatic friend zone. I want something, I'll go with champagne. I know I'm making this super long, but I don't really care. No one's probably watching anyway. Okay, I'm gonna go with inner corner, actually. This is fun to use this palette, because this is the first time I've used it this year. This looks really nice. I'm really happy with my look. I know this is a lot for some people, but it's okay. Okay, what was I saying? What was I talking about? Oh, the nickname, Sprad. Yeah, and so, like, I would, like, actually, there's this one guy that I really, really liked, and I told him that I don't want, like, guys that I was, like, interested in with. Like, if like, homie guys would call me that, like, I liked it, like, I didn't care. But if it was, like, someone that I actually liked, because I feel that although, like, I present myself very feminine, I have a lot of very masculine qualities, and I feel that it was just, like, a masculine thing, and, like, kind of like a friend zone type thing. And I don't know, I just, like to be overly feminine, I guess, in order to make up for those masculine qualities, to seem more, I don't want to say attractive, but I guess attractive, or, like, more desirable, I guess. I don't know. Let's see, what's next? I'm almost done, guys. Don't worry. I know you're probably tired of hearing me talk. Okay. Do you like or dislike surprises? Why or why not? I think I like them. I really appreciate, like, thoughtfulness in general. And so I feel like if someone's, like, putting the effort to surprise you, they're thinking of you, and, like, they care about you, and I like it. In the evening, would you rather play a game, visit a relative, watch a movie, or read? I would say play a game, because that's, like, the most social, because, like, usually playing a game involves, like, other people, and I really love talking to people and, like, being with people. I don't really like being alone. And yeah, I feel like that's probably the vibe. But games are fun. Would you rather vacation in Hawaii or Alaska? I think that's obvi, like, because I just talked about how much I really like the beach, or, like, how much I want to live in a tropical area. And I've also never visited Hawaii, so I feel like that would be really cool. I feel like I'm just, like, I feel that tropical climates and tropical scenery is a lot more, like, positive than wintry things. Like I just feel happier in those environments, and I want all the serotonin and vitamin D I could get. Would you rather win the lottery or work at the perfect job? Win the lottery. Obby, because then you could do anything you want. You could do so many things. And honestly, if I'm being honest, I don't really want to work forever. Like, I feel like working is overrated. Like, I just don't want to. I'd rather just have money and not have to work. I don't really like working. I've decided that I only want to work 3 days a week. And that might not be possible at the beginning. But my plan is, I mean, obviously I'm going to make good money, like, as PA. And then I'll make investments to where I have, what do you call it? It's like income that you don't have to work for. I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, just like income that you don't have to do anything for, and it just like comes in money. Like you own a property and you're getting rent, or like I just messed up my eye look on the very last second. Love that. I guess I'll have to wait for that to dry and then try to recover it. Yeah. So, what was I saying? Oh, lottery for sure. I've always wanted to win the lottery ever since I was little. Because I think, you know, it's something, because like I was saying, I grew up really poor, and like, it's just like something we always talked about, like, oh, if we won the lottery, we could do this. If we won the lottery, we could do that. So, it's, okay, I think I'm gonna try to save it with my Tati palette, because there's a perfect shade for this problem. It's called Aura Sequin. It's the best thing ever. It's probably one of my favorite shades in my collection. And I'll show you the magic of it. Let's see. Anyway, so that's an obby. Anyway, who would you want to be stranded on a deserted island? I don't really know. Probably a dude that was attractive and knew what he was doing. Like, was very resourceful or something. I don't know. Like, I don't really have a specific person. So, just someone who is strong and competent with survival skills and attractive and nice and, like, interesting. That would be good. If money was no object, what would you do all day? Ooh, that's a good question. I think I would definitely, like, obviously, like, switch it up a lot. But I think it would be really fun to work, or I guess if, like, I had my full fantasy of, like, being a stay-at-home mom or, like, just a housewife or whatever. But, which I couldn't be because I don't like people telling me what to do or, like, having control over me. But I do want that lifestyle at some point. That would be cool. Anyway, I think I'm gonna do a pinky lip. Even though, because I've been doing nude so often lately, like, I just want to change. It's gonna be hard to talk while I do this. But anyway, what I was saying is, if I had that lifestyle, I'd want to work at, like, a boutique or something. Just so that I, like, felt like I was doing something. And, like, able to be social. Because, like, if I stay at home all day, I'm not going to be able to be social, you know? And then also, like, just being able to, like, help other people. Like, I would be pretty involved in, like, the foster situation. And I would want to do a lot of, like, running around town. Like, I love doing errands. So I would do that. And shopping, obviously, occasionally. And planning trips and decorating houses. Like my house. Like thrifting and, like, finding fun things. And another thing is, if money was no object, I could buy houses. And I could buy them, and I could decorate them, and I could sell them. Just as a fun hobby. And I wouldn't have to be stressed about it because, like, money's no object. So it's more of, like, a side project. And it's just, like, the pride of, like, knowing that I made someone else happy and, like, they're going to live there. And they're going to, like, enjoy what I created. So that would be fun. Yeah. Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. If you could go back in time, what year would you travel to? Let's see. Let me do some math. It's hard to do math in my head. Okay, I would say 1983 because that's the year before my mom got married to my dad, and I would want to just like be besties with her and like hang out with her and like not have my dad in the picture and just like see what she was like before him and like hang out and have a good time. That would be cool. I feel like that's kind of a silly answer. Like, I feel like most people would be like, I would go back to this year, some historical thing, but I'm not really that into history. Okay, and then let's see. How would your friends describe you? I would say very social, obviously outgoing, smart, and then I would say they'd probably be like, oh, she's really into like makeup, because everyone knows I'm really into makeup. This is looking kind of dark. Dark on dark. But honestly, grunge is life. This is probably gonna be one of the last questions. Okay, wait, where were we? How would your friends describe you? So yeah, I would say that they would say I'm like outgoing, fun, and I'm a really good friend. As far as like, I don't back out, like I don't make plans and then back out. I like do what I said I'm gonna do, and then I'm like always there if like someone needs to talk or whatever. And I'm always like trying to get people to go do things and get out of their house. So I think that's positive. And then also they would probably just be like, oh, she's like really into like makeup and whatever. They would probably just be like, oh, like she spends all of her time working on school. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm pretty sure this video is like 2 hours long, so I'm gonna end it. I don't think there's anything else besides like setting spray that I need, and you don't need to watch that because that's boring. So if anyone made it to this point, congratulations. You deserve an award because this was very long. But maybe some of you are like listening to it before bed or just listening on double speed like while you're doing other things. That would be ideal because I always feel like worried that I'm like wasting people's time. But I guess you wouldn't be watching it if you felt it was a waste of time. And yeah, anyway, have a wonderful, blessed day. God bless you. God bless your family. Amen. Hallelujah. Bye.